Hi, today we're going to talk about that certain type of intelligence to learn languages. Let's learn all about it. So good language learners, in my experience, don't just learn the content. They learn the purpose behind the content. Can you learn this skill? I have no idea. But I can tell you how it works. In my years as a teacher, I would say that metacognition is the most important trait that you need. But also elasticity of the mind, discipline, humility, delayed gratification, and an ability to read the subtext. These are all the qualities that contribute to a certain type of intelligence, the one that allows you to learn a language. In more ways than one, because you're probably picturing yourself now, thinking about yourself doing whatever you do to learn a language, and the way you do it, it's not so simple, because even what you do, what you're currently doing, is influenced by these qualities I just mentioned. Let's take as an example the exact opposite of a good learner, what I call a good learner. The guy, for example, who studies all the names of colours in French. I know all the names of colours. Okay, great. That might be useful, but the subtext is that I was teaching you the colours for another purpose. Number one, I listed with the colours the names of things that you find in a garden. Number two, I was also using the names of colours to introduce you to French pronunciation. Did you see that? And three, the theme of the garden will serve for something else later, in the next lesson, as it said in the worksheet. But the bad learner didn't see the subtext or the larger picture. In this example, the bad learner never wondered how knowing the names of colours in French would ever matter in the real world. But they also didn't wonder why they were in the exercise sheet. They went face first into an interpretation of learning that they made up. That's what bad learners do. Nothing to do with what the teacher wanted. Third example, one that might be close to you since we are on YouTube here. A learner who subscribes to a few polyglot channels on YouTube, a few polyglot channels. They're not seeing the subtext. They're not reading why these people make channels. This is a clear indication to me that a person lacks these essential qualities, and I'm sorry. I can't say anything to make you feel better. Your mind doesn't work in a way that shows you the wider picture. You just take it at face value. Now, the subtext is also the ability to show respect. For example, saying of an exercise or a worksheet that you hold in your hands, wow, well, that probably took the teacher a long time to make. Maybe I should respect it, because there's valuable information here. It's a frame of mind, you see, because now you're holding something of value in your hands. It's like when you enter into a temple. You go to a temple, you take your shoes off, and you feel the atmosphere. You're in a temple. You don't come in with your heavy clogs on, you music loud and shouting, "Hi, I've come to meditate. When do we start?" Teaching is a sort of temple. Bettering oneself is a spiritual exercise. It's a transformation. I had a student, actually it happened more than once, but I remember one. I had a student who scanned all my stuff on my program and tried to make his own app with it. He tried to bypass expertise. He imposed his own timeline. He tried to flatten all the French tenses into a grid and didn't even understand why he was learning them. Which of course he never did. He never got to that stage. So here also I see a complete lack of metacognition. Doing a job of reordering something that didn't need to be, just because you think you're unique and above the sacred principles of the temple. It's like taking all the prayers out of a holy book, putting them into AI to condense them to save time. I had another student, writes me an email, it's happened more than once or so, writes me an email, says, "Hey Chris, hi, I heard that this and that in this French series, is it true?" That's the email. PS, postscriptum, I'm going to learn the subjunctive now, or whatever. I heard it was useful in conversations. What's my job? What's my job? I'm a course creator, I'm a tutor. You have misread me. You did not see the subtext. You did not think far enough. You see what I mean? Now, if you misread me, there are many chances you're going to misread French also. An example of metacognition applied well would be a guy, for example, who learns the possession in French, mon, ma, mes, ton, ta, tes, son, ça, c'est, and is able to ask himself, why am I learning this? Why am I learning the possession in French? And who can project himself into a future use of it, and who can self-explain his own learning, his or her learning, doesn't have to be a man, after they've studied, so can re-explain their own learning after they've studied. He will be the better learner. That type of learner will be the better learner. Also, the good learner has the intelligence to trust the process, to understand expertise. A non-intelligent learner or a non-able learner will not see the forest for the tree. The donkey runs after the carrot but doesn't understand why. Bad learners of languages do the immediate bit, but are incapable of turning this into a meta-discourse. You have to ask yourself, okay, what am I doing now? What am I doing? Why am I studying this? And how well am I studying? Will my teacher think I did enough work? Are you able to say something about your own learning? But I don't mean saying something completely disconnected, like I saw recently on YouTube. I'm not asking you to say something completely disconnected like, I've been doing 2 hours a day for 3 years. That's idiotic. I'm sorry, that's idiotic. That's not meta-discourse. That is pure disconnection. It's like saying, I've been praying for 2 hours every day. I'm more connected to God than everyone in this room. You see how idiotic it sounds? Ask yourself a series of questions. When you speak French, why are you throwing in English words? Ask yourself that question. Why are you making up words that don't exist? Ask yourself that. How are you going to learn the words that are missing in your vocabulary? What's the plan? What is the best approach? How are these words going to help you in reality? Whatever you're learning. Do you have the answers by yourself, or should you trust an expert? In regards to the learning practice, what am I doing now? What am I doing? In regards to the language, how do I know what I don't know? Number 3, in regards to your accomplishment, how well did you follow the instructions? In regards to the wider picture, where is this leading to? Of course, it also takes discipline and humility. Those two usually work hand in hand. You have to accept that you don't know something and that you may not know how to study it. You may not know how to study French. You have to accept this idea. To have humility, of course, you need self-awareness. This ability, if you have it, also helps to weed through different programs, the very wide selection of language programs. There's millions of people who follow the Quacks, who speak about language learning on YouTube. They've never seen a lecture hall on a campus for anything related to language or to learning. They still talk about it on YouTube, do thousands of views, wonderful. They're anything but teachers or linguists. They're the furthest thing away from being a teacher or a linguist, just no clue whatsoever what they're talking about. They mislead millions of people, but the people can't choose properly because they don't have that metacognition. I'm not making this up, you know. They don't have this metacognition to regulate their own behaviour and ask themselves, who am I listening to and why? Why am I listening to this YouTuber? Why am I performing this action? And it's the same thing with learning programs, you know. I've had people on YouTube say, oh, you think you're so good? Huh? Well, I bet your learners aren't C2. Huh? And yet, complete misreading of the subtext. Complete misreading of the subtext. To me, it's like saying, huh, you think you're stronger than Tarzan? Huh? Well, I bet you couldn't wrestle a bear. Complete lack of understanding. Total lack of understanding. The people who, for example, who engage with Duolingo, And frankly, just 99% of the programs out there, it doesn't need to be Duolingo. Well, these people, they don't ask themselves, what is this? What is this and where is this leading to? They don't even ask the question, who created this? Why? What is it going to bring me? If I apply a discipline to this thing, will it lead me anywhere? The answer is usually no. You need that elasticity of the mind to understand that what you thought is the truth isn't necessarily the truth. And you also need it to think about why the teacher or the course designer is asking you to do certain things. You need it to keep an eye out for and to be receptive to progress and advice. It's Plato's cave all over again. I mean, Plato's cave is just the most brilliant thing that's ever been said. Look it up. It's Plato's cave. It told us that the shadows were just the shadows of the flames, that the truth was over there. You're looking at the shadows, the flames and the shadows. I see it in languages every day. That's how the language industry works, and this is where so many language learners fail. Plato's cave. Metacognition, discipline, humility, delayed gratification, and an ability to read the subtext. That's my opinion. That's what I see in good learners. That's what I see makes a good language learner. My name is Chris. I hope you found this useful. Find me at wecommunicate.com to learn French. See you very soon. Bye.